Hey everybody, I'm HatFunction. Today in this video I'm going to be exploring and experimenting a little bit with how exactly friendship works as a mechanic in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So, Pokemon XD, like a lot of other spin-off Pokemon games, doesn't have a lot of good documentation online. There's not a lot of information out there about how exactly some of the more nuanced or finer game mechanics work. In a lot of ways that's not a problem because this game does share the same battle engine and so forth with the main series. But when it comes to friendship, as I've been playing this game, I've been streaming the game recently, and the information I found online about friendship or happiness in particular has been variously misleading, wrong entirely, or just not documented at all. So I am going to be messing around today with Dolphin Emulator and a save file editor for the GameCube Pokemon games, and I am going to figure out the answers to a couple of questions that have been bothering me for a long time. A little bit of backstory about why I am slightly peeved about this particular topic, but when I first played Pokemon XD, I got this Togepi. It's a real fun Pokemon. And I was really excited to use it. I think I played Pokemon XD way after it was released, so I think this was actually around the time that Sejun Park had a Pachirisu in the World Championships, and Follow Me was like the coolest move ever, and I really wanted to mess around with Follow Me in a Pokemon game that was centered around doubles, and Togepi, once it evolves to Togetic, is one of the better users of Follow Me in this game. So I got it. And of course, I didn't want to run in circles for hours to try and boost its friendship up to a reasonable level, so I went online and looked up how to do friendship grinding in Pokemon XD. And what I found is that if you buy these items, known as Cologne scents, oh, that's not the right one, you can use them on your Pokemon, and supposedly they give friendship boosts, and so, as I have done here, I bought a lot of Cologne scents. And I dumped entire cans of deodorant on the Togepi, and I went to the friendship checker, and he was like, your Togepi still hates you. It was kind of weird. So eventually I just ground it out the old-fashioned way, by running in circles for a really long time. But as I was streaming this game again, since it's been several years since I last played it, I kind of recalled that and decided to experiment with a little bit. And what I found was that I dumped all 25 of these scents on Togepi. And it did not budge its friendship at all. At the point when I did this, I went to the friendship checker in Gation port. He gave me the message that confirmed that my Togepi was between 100 and 149 happiness. After checking my save file editor, I later learned that it was at 130 happiness. I dropped all 25 of these scents on the Togepi. Each of these should have given at least 2, so I should have gotten a plus 50 boost, which would definitely take me from the 100 to 149 range to the next tier of friendship checker message. And he told me, your Togepi has not gained any friendship. It hasn't tiered up in the friendship checker thing since I last talked to you, and that was weird. So clearly something about the information about these Cologne scents is wrong, and as I looked into more stuff, I just realized that there isn't information online about this, so without further ado, we are going to try and figure out a few of the specifics about happiness in Pokemon XD that I was never able to find online. And so the first one, we're going to go to the basics. What exactly is the base happiness of Pokemon that you get in this game? In the main series games, every Pokemon has a base happiness. For almost every Pokemon, it's 70, up until, I think, the most recent generation, but I haven't played that one. There are a few Pokemon with slightly different base happiness. A lot of legendaries tend to have lower base happiness. It's the happiness that's assigned to the Pokemon at catch. But I could not find any information online about whether Shadow Pokemon follow the same rule. In particular, because the Togepi seemed like it took extra long to train Friendship on. Does the Togepi have a different base Friendship? Does it? Do all Shadow Pokemon have a different base Friendship? This is something where it's easy to make an assumption, but I had never actually seen it confirmed. And so, gonna use the save file editor real quick to take a look at what's going on in this save file I have right now. So, roughly speaking, most of the Pokemon I'm running around with are Pokemon that I have never actually used in my party. They're Pokemon that went into the Purify Chamber and then went straight to the PC. So most of them should still be at their original Friendship values. In particular, we're going to look at this Venomoth that I have in the Purify Chamber, which is still a Shadow Pokemon. And if we look at it, we can see that its Friendship value right here is 70. This is its usual Pokemon, this is the usual species-based Friendship for Venomoth. And so everything here is fine and dandy. Not much to say there. So we are going to go back to Dolphin, and now we are going to purify this Venomoth. I also apologize for the crunchy audio. I am playing this on an emulator, and it doesn't play well with my recording software. So sometimes the frames just decide to leave entirely. I'm also not actually going to bother editing this video, so this is going to be one long take. There may be some points where it's advisable to just skip ahead a little bit, because right now I'm going to save, and I'm going to export the save so that I can open it in my save file editor, and now we're just going to check out what's going on with that Venomoth now that we've purified it. So, 1 second while I take care of that. We are going to open the save that we just created, and in our PC, we should see this Venomoth that we just purified. And its Friendship is now 140. Let's actually show that properly. Its Friendship is 140, which is not the same Friendship it had before we purified it. Interesting. So if we go through and look through our box, most of these Pokemon should already be purified. I'm actually going to go to the Purify Chamber and check these Pokemon. But pretty much all of these Pokemon are ones that I have purified without ever using. And we can see, if we check this random Swinub, it also has 140 base Friendship after purification. There's Numel. It has 100. I think I actually used Numel for a bit. That's not a good example. Let's see. I have never used this Shelter. I have never used this Nosepass. I have never used this Growlithe. And I have never used this Paris. And they are all sitting pretty at 140 base Friendship after purification. So clearly purification does have an effect on the Friendship values of a Pokemon. And it is not just the base Friendship for the species. All of these Pokemon that originally have 70 base Friendship have updated to 140 base Friendship. That said, there are a handful of Pokemon with base Friendship that is not 70. The only Pokemon with base Friendship higher than 70 that is obtainable in Pokemon XD is Chansey. On this save file, I have not reached the point where I have a Shadow Chansey, so I can't check that quite yet. but I do have a few Pokemon that I've obtained that have a base friendship that is lower than Chansey's. Or sorry, lower than 70. In particular, I am going to be looking at this Duskull, which has an original base friendship, its species base friendship value is 35. We see that after purification, its friendship has actually been boosted to 105. So, it seems like upon purification, your Pokemon gets a plus 70 friendship boost. You would have to check whether or not that plus 70 base friendship boost is consistent across all starting base friendship values. Because I don't know if it's the same for Chansey. But yeah, the base friendship is in the game, and it does affect your Pokemon's post-purification friendship. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say there. I think I just talked myself into the corner, but we can see by checking these Pokemon that I have purified without ever interacting with, that they do have different base friendship values, that purification does provide a base friendship boost, and that the species base friendship values from the main series are still included in this game. That said, there is one Pokemon whose base friendship does not make any sense, because I was talking about that Togepi earlier, and one odd thing I found about it is that it doesn't seem to follow the same rules as every other Pokemon I've checked. If we look at the Pokemon in my party, and take a look at Togepi, it is currently at 132 friendship. Togepi is a Pokemon with 70 base friendship. It matches pretty much every other Pokemon, so you would think that 70 base friendship, after purifying this Shadow Togepi, it should be at 140 base friendship once it is purified, at minimum. This Togepi has less than that, and on the save file I have been walking around with this Togepi for a pretty significant stretch of the game, pretty more or less ever since I obtained it, up through the end of the Cypher Key Lair, is the part of the story I'm at right now, and it is still below 140 friendship. So, clearly something is going on here. Togepi's base friendship is not the same as every other Pokemon. It doesn't follow the same rules. Why this is, I don't know. What its actual base friendship is, I'm also not certain. In order to figure that out, I would have to replay this game up to the Outskirts stand, and I am not quite willing to do that for this just yet. But maybe someday in the future. That said, Togepi's base friendship is somehow not the same as every other Pokemon's. Let's see, what was the next topic? Right, okay, so since we have started talking about Shadow Togepi, I think it's about time we return to the topic of Cologne massages. And so for that, I am going to restart this game. Because I want to test a few things. In particular, there is information online, as I have said, that Cologne massages boost your Pokemon's happiness. There are actual values for different happiness thresholds, and different amounts of happiness you gain from Cologne scents at these thresholds. Like below 100 happiness, your Pokemon will gain 4 happiness from this particular Cologne massage. And I don't know where those values come from, but they don't really match my experience with those items. So I'm going to be testing a couple of different ways to see if Cologne massages, under any circumstances, can give your Pokemon a friendship boost. Wait, what? Oh, right, hang on. I am a fool. I have forgotten to import the save file that I needed. We'll be back in just a minute. Right, so I'm going to return to the save file where Venomoth is ready to be purified, but I have not purified it yet. I could really just be doing this with save states, couldn't I? Ah, well. As you can tell, I've diligently prepared for this video by throwing it together the day after I realized this is a thing I wanted to talk about. But here we go. But now that we have everything set up properly, I am going to do a few things. One, I'm going to use the Joy Scent on Togepi. Just so that we can see whether or not it has any effect on its happiness. We did just check Togepi's happiness. It was at 132, I believe. Maybe 131 on the save file, depending on RNG. And I'm going to use an Excite Scent on Venomoth. And I'm going to keep doing it because I have not actually finished purifying this Venomoth on the save file. So, just a little bit of massage treatment, and here we go. Venomoth can now be purified. And we are going to purify Venomoth. And I'm once again going to apologize for the frame rate. At least it's not as... oh, there we go. I was about to say, it's not as bad as it is while I'm streaming, and then all the particle effects showed up. Okay, now that that's done, we are once again going to save. Which, fun fact, the menus in this game run at 60 FPS while the rest of the game runs at 30. So opening the menus on my current recording setup causes the game to lag. We are going to export this save now. And we're going to open it on the save file editor. And we'll check our party. So this Togepi is, yeah, still at 131 friendship. That Joy Scent I dumped on it did absolutely nothing. Did I? Right, okay, so the Venomoth should be in the box now. And it is still at 140 friendship. Those scents that I used to purify it did absolutely nothing. So, regardless of whether the scents are used on a purified Pokemon, or on a Pokemon that is still a shadow. Sorry, regardless of whether it's used on a purified Pokemon or on a shadow Pokemon, these don't seem to actually contribute to friendship at all. I would like to know where the information about sense boosting friendship in Pokemon XD came from. I would also like to know why it is possible to use those scents on your Pokemon, even when they are not shadow Pokemon, because as far as I can tell, they have no effect of any kind. But yeah, that answers a long-standing question about why my Togepi hated me. It's because this game does not actually give you that easy out for grinding friendship on your Pokemon. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way. And given how terrible the rate for boosting friendship by walking in this game is, that's a lot of steps you're gonna be taking. Okay, well, I have one more thing I would like to check. Actually, I can check it while I'm here. So that Togepi does not currently have a hold item. This is important because I don't want to accidentally ruin things with a Sooth Pill. But what happens if we use the HP up on Togepi? Vitamins in Pokemon games do boost your Pokemon's friendship by a few points. I'm gonna check exactly how much. I believe at Togepi's current friendship level, the vitamin should boost its happiness by 3 points. And so I am going to once again export that save. And we are going to check it over on this side. I just realized you can see the edge of the memory card manager from Dolphin in the stream. That's nice. So, test save number 5. We are going to check the party. Here's Togepi. It went from 131 to 134. This is what I expected. It started at 131 from the last save file, and yeah, we got the +3 that you're supposed to get from having your Pokemon do steroids. So I am going to actually, for the sake of consistency, I am going to actually import an old save. Excuse you. And what I am testing right now is actually a very obscure mechanic. I don't think many people know about this, but I believe starting in Crystal version, and continuing to the current day Pokemon games except for Gen 4, there is actually a happiness bonus if you do an action that will boost your Pokemon's happiness in the area where you met them. I basically only learned about that like within the last year, but I have not seen explicit confirmation of whether or not this actually applies in Pokemon Colosseum and XD. And honestly, given this game's track record with other things related to happiness, I am not going to make any assumptions. So this thing's a little bit less related to anything than the rest of this video, but I just want to know if this mechanic is actually in the game or not, because it's very obscure, it's very niche, and I have not really seen it documented in very many places. But I'm just gonna save here just in case we had any friendship boost from the few steps we took to get to the outskirts stand. I'm going to export this save to check exactly. And we're going to look at Togepi's friendship right at this instant. Because Togepi is the Pokemon I have from the outskirts stand. And its friendship is currently 131. Now, I am going to use the HP up on the Togepi in the outskirts stand rather than at the Pokemon Headquarters Lab. And I'm going to save again. We're going to export this save because imagine actually using video editing software to to make these videos not just 20 minutes longer than they actually need to be. And now we are going to look at this final save. So what does Togepi look like right now? Togepi is at 134 friendship. So it appears that the area met bonus does not apply in Pokemon XD. We gained 3 friendship from the HP up in the Pokemon Headquarters Lab, and we got 3 friendship from the HP up in the outskirts stand. So in case all 0 of you who are wondering about this wanted to know, that's how it works. So yeah, there are a few outstanding questions I have about how friendship works in these games still. Like I said before, I was not able to check Shadow Chansey, whether Shadow Chansey also starts with 140 base friendship and gets the plus 70 purification bonus. One thing that I'm not particularly keen on checking because it seems like it wouldn't be that interesting, but there are wild Pokemon in Pokemon XD, and one of them does have a base friendship that is not 70. Wild Aron have a base friendship of 35. I am mildly curious as to whether Aron still has 35 base friendship, but considering that Duskull had the correct base friendship, I'd expect that Aron also does. Biggest outstanding question: what the hell actually is Togepi's base friendship? Because it's not 70 in this game, or it doesn't get the 70 purification bonus, or something is going on with that Pokemon. I don't know what, but its base friendship is clearly different from every other Shadow Pokemon, and that is the biggest outstanding question that I have not figured out. And lastly, there is one thing I have seen claimed. That I am also not that interested in double checking, but it's that, like experience, friendship for Shadow Pokemon only accumulates once you have fewer than 3 bars left on the heart gauge. Given that experience also works this way, I would assume that friendship accumulated during the Shadow phase is added at that point, but I have not actually been able to check or confirm this. So, a few outstanding questions, but overall, what we've learned: Shadow Pokemon start with the same base friendship as other Pokemon of their species, but upon purification appear to gain a plus 70 friendship boost. Shadow Togepi has a base friendship that is definitely lower than other Shadow Pokemon, and Cologne massages don't do shit for your friendship. So that information unless there's some very specific thing that is going wrong that I'm not aware of, that if there are conditions that you need to meet in order for Cologne massages to boost your Pokemon's happiness, it seems that they just don't do anything for you. So yeah, thanks for coming to this really excessively long video about happiness in Pokemon XD. I hope we all learned something here today. Like I said, I would have liked to cut it, but I also wanted to keep all the footage in here in the interest of not doctoring anything and just showing the whole process. And so hopefully this is useful to someone, hopefully we can get some of that misinformation corrected, so whatever other poor saps are playing this game 16 years after its release don't get misled the same way I did. But for now, all of y'all take care, peace out, I'll see you some other time.